Good evening, I'm Juanita Phillips. Tonight, the ABC News is coming to you from Falconbridge in the Blue Mountains. Behind me, beneath that thick cloud of smoke, was the scene of the most intense firefight on a day that was forecast to be the worst so far. The catastrophic firestorm that was feared hasn't eventuated, but nonetheless it's been an extremely difficult day for fire crews, dealing with heat, high winds and rugged terrain. Tonight, New South Wales remains in the grip of a bushfire emergency, with 6 major fires still causing concern. Crews are struggling to contain an out-of-control fire at Minmai near Newcastle, and a blaze burning at Gateshead to the south is threatening nearby suburbs. In the Blue Mountains, there's an emergency warning at Springwood and Falconbridge, while a watch and act is in place for the state mine fire at Lithgow, Mount Victoria and in the Southern Highlands. In towns across the Blue Mountains, thousands of people prepared as best they could, many wary of just how quickly the Winmalee fire took hold just under a week ago. And after days of warnings, all many people could do was watch on.
Deadly deja vu in Springwood.
Get in your house and shelter or leave, one or the other.
Suddenly, ferociously, the same fire that destroyed so much here last Thursday flared again.
Now it's just wait and see what happens and hopefully put out any embers that land in the yard.
The speed of the blaze surprised even the Commissioner.
They were contemplating the escalation of alert, but because of the weather conditions, because of the fire behaviour, that has changed. As a matter of fact, the emergency alert is being issued right now.
Springwood again bore the brunt in the Blue Mountains on a day that had authorities fearing catastrophe. The 3 fires menacing these hills for a week threatened to run with the wind and spread uncontrollably. A massive contingent of firefighters worked across the region.
There's been some fairly risky strategies put in place. We've asked people to do a lot of things we normally wouldn't. Fairly risky things, but that's been weighed up against the risks to the communities if these fires get out.
Mount Victoria was threatened, but appears to have escaped the worst.
Well, we've got everything in the car, so the rest is stuff. As long as we, can get out, we just go down the pass. That's all that matters.
In Blackheath, everything that could be done was done by everyone available.
We're ready to go, but if we can stay and sort of save our property, we will.
The worry was that the winds would push the flames across containment lines towards townships, but they mostly held. The day was spent fighting spot fires. Only fast work and commitment kept disaster at bay.
This battle is being fought from the air as much as it is from the ground because this terrain is just so treacherous. So reservoirs like this one are being effectively drained all around the Blue Mountains and dropped right across these fires.
And then we'll work back through the gully and steer to the west. Nice job.
The fear here has turned to hope that the worst, perhaps, has passed. But these fires still burn and the threat remains. Ben Worsley, ABC News, Mount Victoria.
And in news, Justin, we've just been told that the Springwood fire, which has been the subject of an emergency warning all day, has now been downgraded to a watch and act. I'm joined now by Vince Hurley, a rural fire service volunteer who's been out on the front line fighting that fire today. Vince, thanks so much for joining us. What was it like out there today?
Well, to be honest, it's tough. It's arduous work, it's exhausting work, the intensity of the heat. Sometimes you can't see a metre in front of you with the smoke. It's really, really tough.
So
work.
Basically the fire is down there. All we could see was smoke, but you were right in there battling the flames, were you?
Yeah, we've been down there for probably about 5 or 6 hours today. Most of us were there till 2 o'clock this morning, went home, got a couple of hours sleep and came back. Worried about the containment lines overnight, but it is unpredictable. Today was supposed to be almost a catastrophic day, but just like last Thursday at Winmalee, that was unexpected, and that turned into be a disastrous day. And today was supposed to be a disastrous day, and it wasn't quite as bad as we'd hoped.
So do you feel that you've dodged a bullet? You were expecting the worst, and it hasn't turned out that bad, but obviously a lot of planning and preparation has gone into that.
Oh yeah, we've been planning for this today for days coming up. And we'll continue to plan for similar days, even once this is over and done with, whether it be a week or 2 weeks. As I think was said by my captain, Mark Roberts, being a local, we are very proud of our area and take a lot of care in it, and it does become somewhat personal because of our friends and family that live here as well.
Well, it must do, and you're one of many, many volunteers who've given up their jobs. You've been fighting fires, this particular fire emergency, for more than a week now.
Yeah.
You've got 4 kids under 8 years old. You've evacuated your wife and your kids out of this area.
Yeah.
Have you been getting a good response from the community here?
The community is excellent, and you've probably heard it said in previous times that the community comes together, and it's very true. And we had people actually come up from Sydney to give us food and water and things like that, but the community, you can't fault them in a situation like this. And you know, I can't even fault my employer. They've been excellent, Macquarie University, and I can't thank them enough for giving me the time to come up here and not only protect my family, but you know, all the other families in the area.
All right, so you're going to be working until midnight tonight, fighting this fire.
Yeah.
You get a few hours sleep. You're back at work tomorrow morning.
Yeah, we get about 4 to 6 hours sleep a night, then we'll be back at it first thing in the morning. Yeah.
All right, Vince Hurley, thanks so much for joining us, and best of luck to you and your crewmates.
Thanks very much, Benita.